In the quiet town of Greenwood, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, life moved at a slow, predictable pace. The townsfolk were kind, if a little reserved, and the most exciting event in recent memory had been the annual Harvest Festival. But all that changed one chilly autumn evening when an otherworldly visitor arrived, desperate and afraid. Her name was Zara, a mother from a distant planet called Luminos. Luminos was a dying world, its resources depleted, its atmosphere thinning. Zara had been sent to Earth on a desperate mission to find sustenance for her starving child, Kale. She had traveled light years, her heart heavy with fear and determination, knowing that failure was not an option. Zara's ship, a small, sleek vessel cloaked in advanced technology, landed silently in the woods just outside Greenwood. She emerged cautiously, her luminous blue skin shimmering faintly in the moonlight. Her large, almond-shaped eyes scanned the area, and she adjusted the translator device around her neck. She knew she had to be careful. Humans were not known for their hospitality toward the unknown. The first few nights, Zara observed the town from the shadows. She watched as humans went about their daily lives, laughing, talking, and sharing meals. The sight of their abundance made her heart ache. On Luminos, food was scarce, and her people were slowly withering away. She thought of Kale, waiting for her return, his small body growing weaker by the day. She couldn't wait any longer. One evening, under the cover of darkness, Zara ventured into the town. She moved silently, her movements swift and precise. She found a small grocery store, its windows dark, and used her advanced technology to bypass the lock. Inside, she filled a bag with bread, fruit, and other essentials. Her hands trembled as she worked, her heart pounding with guilt and fear. She had never stolen before, but desperation had driven her to this. As she turned to leave, a voice broke the silence. "Stop right there." Zara froze. Her eyes widened as she saw a human woman standing in the doorway, holding a flashlight. The woman was in her late 30s, with kind eyes and a determined expression. She was Mrs. Eleanor Carter, the store owner. "I knew something was off when I saw the door ajar," Eleanor said, stepping closer. "But I never expected this." Zara's mind raced. She could try to escape, but she didn't want to hurt anyone. She dropped the bag and raised her hands in surrender. "Please," Zara said, her voice trembling. "I mean no harm. I only need food for my child." Eleanor's eyes softened as she took in Zara's appearance. The alien's blue skin, her large, pleading eyes, the desperation in her voice. It was clear that this was no ordinary thief. "Your child?" Eleanor asked, lowering the flashlight. Zara nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "My son, Kale. He is starving. Our world, it is dying. I had no choice." Eleanor hesitated, her heart torn between caution and compassion. She had always believed in helping those in need, but this was beyond anything she had ever encountered. "Come with me," Eleanor said finally. "Let's talk." Zara followed Eleanor to the back of the store, where a small office was located. Eleanor gestured for her to sit, and Zara did so, her hands still trembling. "Tell me everything," Eleanor said gently. And so Zara did. She spoke of Luminos, of its slow demise, of her journey to Earth, and of her son, Kale, who was waiting for her return. She spoke of her guilt for stealing, of her fear of being discovered, and of her hope that she could find a way to save her child. Eleanor listened in silence, her heart breaking for the alien mother. When Zara finished, Eleanor reached out and took her hand. "You're not alone anymore," Eleanor said. "We'll figure this out together." Over the next few days, Eleanor helped Zara in ways the alien mother could never have imagined. She provided food and supplies, and even arranged for a safe place for Zara to stay. But more than that, she offered her friendship and support. Eleanor also reached out to a few trusted friends in the town, people she knew would be open-minded and willing to help. Together, they formed a small group dedicated to assisting Zara and, if possible, finding a way to help her people. One evening, as the group gathered in Eleanor's living room, Zara shared more about Luminos and its technology. She explained that her people had the knowledge to restore their planet, but they lacked the resources. If they could find a way to gather those resources, they might be able to save Luminos. The group listened intently, their minds racing with possibilities. They knew it would be a monumental task, but they were determined to try. "We'll need to be careful," Eleanor said. "If the wrong people find out about Zara, it could be dangerous for all of us." The others nodded in agreement. They knew the risks, but they also knew that helping Zara was the right thing to do. As the weeks passed, the group worked tirelessly. They used Zara's technology to communicate with Luminos, coordinating efforts to gather the necessary resources. They also reached out to scientists and environmentalists, sharing Zara's story and enlisting their help. It was a long and difficult process, but slowly progress was made. Resources were gathered, plans were put into place, and hope began to grow. Throughout all, Zara remained grateful and humble. She had come to Earth as a desperate thief, but she had found kindness and compassion beyond her wildest dreams. She had also formed a deep bond with Eleanor, who had become like a sister to her. One day, as the first shipment of resources was prepared to be sent to Luminos, Zara turned to Eleanor with tears in her eyes. "I can never thank you enough," Zara said. "You have given me hope, not just for my son, but for my entire world." Eleanor smiled and hugged her friend. "You're welcome, Zara. We're all in this together." As the shipment was sent off, Zara felt a sense of relief and gratitude she had never known. She knew there was still much work to be done, but she also knew that she was not alone. In the end, Zara's journey to Earth had changed everything. What had begun as a desperate act of theft had turned into a story of hope, friendship, and the power of kindness. And as Zara looked up at the stars, she knew that her son, Kale, and all of Luminos had a chance at a brighter future.